Welcome back. Today I'm going to talk about a very, very important topic. As you can see here on the wall behind me, we have various tools for perfect polishing. We don't just need a good polishing machine, quality polishing pads and polish. We also don't want to create more work for ourselves after polishing than we already have. And that's why this is an extremely important tool. Tape. This is specifically for vehicle detailing. There are different types of tape available on the market, but when it comes to automotive paint, you really should use something more specialized to avoid adhesive residue, to allow for clean corrections, and so that you can easily apply it around corners. So, in this video, I want to emphasize once again, tape off critical areas, because I'll show you what happens if you don't do it, and I'll also show you in the video how to remove the leftover polish from the surfaces. But first, I wanted to stress this point at the beginning. Use a proper tape here. I'll link it again below. And it's always included in my favorite sets, for example. Extremely important. And I'll show you why now. Let's get started. Have fun. So here we have an example of such a spot. This is very, very typical. You polish over the surface and suddenly the polishing pad hits the top of the surface and it has worked its way completely into the material. That means even with cleaner, it won't come off. Here we have another small spot like that. And then we simply take a foam applicator. You can also use a microfiber applicator. I've got a cloth with me as well. We put a little bit of product on the tip of the applicator. Really just a tiny little dot here. And then I'll do it just 50-50 at first, so you can see it better. You dab it on here a little bit. This here should be textured. So that means it also has a rough surface. And now, clearly with the Dr. Wack Intensive Cleaner, you can simply treat the surface with light pressure. As I said, it also works well with the microfiber applicator. I will go over the spot down here again in a moment. If this gets on the paint, it's absolutely no problem. The important thing is just that the surface should be clean, so there shouldn't still be clay from your last off-road trip stuck on here. All right, let's just wipe this off here. So now we take a cloth, wipe off the excess here, let it air out briefly, and then you can see here completely clean. Without the surface being dulled, sanded, or anything like that, it's all gone. So really, really clean. I can go over it again. It's not like anything is being covered up here. Sometimes products need a bit longer to air out, and then you get this dark film and think, yeah, everything's great. But then after 5 minutes it dries and the film keeps coming back. But here there's really nothing. I'll just go over it again for confirmation. Can you see it clearly here? It's turned out really, really clean. Really super good. And this has saved me so many times. Especially with vehicles like this, because I personally would always tape this area off. Just look at how close it is to the paint with this overhang here, and you just can't avoid it. So either remove the part when you're polishing here or just tape it off for safety. Then things like this won't happen. But as you can see, it comes off wonderfully. Really top notch. Let's do the other side as well. Otherwise it will look really strange. Let's use the remaining product again. I hope it's enough, but as you can see, it should still be fine here. You can also add another small drop, and then we'll go over it again here. Just try it out for yourselves to see whether it works better with a foam applicator or a microfiber applicator, depending on how narrow the areas are. For these narrow sections, something like this might be easier to handle than using a larger block. If you have larger surfaces, a block is definitely advantageous, also because you can work faster with it. So here as well, we'll go over it again with the cloth, let it air out briefly, and then it will be completely clean and uniform again. That's how it should be. I really make a lot of videos here about the intensive cleaner, but I keep discovering new ways to use it, and that's exactly what I want to show you. So at some point, I think I'll make a summary video showing all the different places you can use it. So first of all, tape off these areas and also tape off things like this here. Luckily, no one hit this spot with the polishing machine, but here there was contact, and that's why it's really important that you properly tape off areas like this, so you don't have to do this kind of work afterwards. So we have the same issue here on this unpainted plastic. And up here you can see that the polishing machine hit it as well. That's why we're going to apply a bit of intensive cleaner here. You can also use it nicely for cleaning in case you have any streaks or marks on there. Like I said, these are the experiences I'm sharing with you here. It works really, really well. And I've also noticed you don't have to do the entire fender, because then you might end up with some color differences. Right? You can see here I'm just doing it in a way that I cover the whole strip nicely, rub it in a bit, and then I grab my microfiber cloth again and wipe it off over a large area. It's important that it can dry again afterwards, of course. So now it dries off completely, and look, absolutely clean, absolutely clear and clean. Wonderful. So, and I have the same thing here on the front of the hood, and you can see on this wrapped surface, the black part is a wrap. Here too, we have these polish residues. Someone, I think, must have used a rotary polisher on it. At least the marks really look like it. Here as well, as I said, I recorded this the day before just to test it out for myself first. It really worked extremely well again. That's why I'm showing it here once more. So here as well, I went over it with the foam pad. It really worked extremely well. You don't even need to apply much pressure. Now this part is shown at double speed just to show you different surfaces. We had the painted metal surface, we had the unpainted plastic, and here we also have a matte film. But here on the film, it's really important to quickly clean the surface again with an APC or an insect remover. Ideally, use APC or something similar. A quick detailer works really well too, because on this matte surface, small residues can sometimes form. It's not a sanded spot, it's just product residue. And you can remove that. You can also use a degreaser or something similar, any paint cleaner that works well. And then you can see here, you really have a beautifully clean surface. It works incredibly well, and I just love this product because it's so extremely versatile. So Dr. Wack really hit the mark with this one. If you have any questions about it, just leave them in the comments below. Otherwise, very important, tape off beforehand, then you won't have this extra work. But if you ever have a vehicle like this one here, where it has already happened, it's not the end of the world. You just get the right product, clean it off, and everything is perfect. It's just extra work, but it doesn't damage the surface. But you can avoid it if you tape off beforehand. That's why you should always have something like this at home, and it keeps proving itself, honestly. I can use it in so many different ways. I'm a huge fan of this product, I'll say it openly and honestly, just as it is. It's one of my absolute highlight products from the Dr. Wack range. You should definitely have it at home, because it can be used for so many things so effectively and gently. Until then, thank you very much for watching. For that, I always give a thumbs up. Many thanks to the team for this great product. Really, really cool. Thank you all for watching. Bye guys.